Can you give us some examples from the medical records of cognitive deficit?
Yes. He was found in the jail to have defecated on the floor of his cell, and he covered it with his clothing.
And
that's not considered normal behavior.
And is it noted to be cognitive deficit?
That would be noted to be a cognitive deficit. They had a psychiatrist come and examine him.
Now, let me just ask some is that the only one?
No, there's other examples as well. Yes.
Could he die by testifying?
Yes.
Will testifying risk further deterioration of his health, at least?
Unequivocally, it's very stressful.
We don't look at this in a vacuum. They've been making motions for mistrial for a year and a half for 10 different reasons, 20 different times. So what is very clear is Mr. Durst wants a mistrial any way he can get it. Number two, Dr. Klein's opinions go to Mr. Durst's overall health. It's a lot of could happen, could affect him, might affect him. Anybody who's been in this courtroom, and it's amazing to me that Dr. Klein, who's charging by his own admission $50,000, although when you do the math it's over $100,000, has not bothered to observe the man in court. The court has had the opportunity. This is a person who's not getting worse, he's getting better. He is fully engaged. He is discussing things with his attorney. He's raising objections. He is engaged in this trial. And then finally, Your Honor, as the court's aware, what they really want is, and I think the doctor was disingenuous in his last response, completely disingenuous. His comment regarding even just his kidney stone is, it's never going to be operable, it's never going to get any better. So the court, I think, and the court has noticed this previously, what this is not a request for mistrial. What this really is a request for Mr. Durst to get a go home, get out of jail free card and never be tried again. And because there is no current acute situation that requires Mr. Durst to be hospitalized, we are talking about chronic conditions which may or may not get better. And again, Mr. Durst had very serious cancer in 2005. He's still here. He will probably outlive us all.
Unbelievable developments in the Robert Durst case, right? And this is an interesting argument because he's basically saying you have the right to testify, he wants to testify, but his doctor's saying if he's testifying, it could kill him. So what should be done here? Should it be a mistrial? What should the judge do? I asked you if you think that Robert Durst is faking all of this. Let's begin with our 13th juror comment of the day from Mary tonight. He murdered 3 people that we know of and has lived much longer than he allowed his victims. Unless he pleads guilty, prop him up on the stand with the necessary oxygen and let him speak. His victims suffered far worse. Renee Hill, is this the first time you've ever seen a situation like this where a defendant is making the argument that being cross-examined could actually literally kill him?
This is actually a first for me that I'm seeing this. But again, look at the defendant. His health is declining, has been declining throughout this trial, despite what the prosecutor said that he's getting better. His health is declining. And that is going to be a problem, whether or not he can, in fact, help himself during the course of this trial and assist in his defense during the course of this trial. And if testifying, as per the doctor, is going to kill him, that's certainly something that the court has to take into consideration. And he's not going to go home if this is a mistrial. That doesn't happen. Defendants don't go home because there's a mistrial. He's going to go back to jail, or he's going to go to a prison hospital. But he's certainly not just going to go home if a mistrial is declared.
Melissa tonight, I think he definitely has major health problems and mental problems, but he's not crazy. He's aware. But if the judge denies a mistrial and Robert Durst chooses to testify, can the judge be held responsible for any health problems during or after? Carmen, Roe, what do you think there? I mean, and what if he actually collapsed and passed away tragically in the midst of this trial at this point?
You know, it's all fun and games until you implicate constitutional rights. I mean, this gets real interesting in the legal perspective because they're preserving this issue of his constitutional right to testify, which we all have. And if he can't act on that right, what are the consequences as we go forward? So while the judge has been shutting him down left and right on all these requests for mistrials, I don't think this one's as easy to call. Now, is the judge going to be responsible civilly or criminally for any death that may occur on the stand as a result of a killer cross? I doubt it.
Molly Palmer, your thoughts about this intriguing issue?
Well, let me just say, I think maybe some of the vitriol against Durst and the defense should be redirected to the prosecution, because we know this murder occurred 20 years ago, and we wouldn't be in this position had the prosecution indicted and pursued this case a bit more contemporaneous with the actual alleged act. So I think we need to remember that we're all dealing with somebody 20 years removed from the incident, and maybe say, hey, district attorney, why did you bring this case so late when you could have prosecuted him successfully and safely all those years ago?
Well, for part of the time, he was pretending to be a mute woman down in Galveston, Texas, and cutting somebody's head off. But I digress. Great job, Renee Hill, Carmen Rowe, Molly Palmer. Great to have you in the program. We'll see you again. Thanks so much.